In our last update, we wanted to see price come down to take out the range lows, hit our support area, and then see a reversal to the upside. And the most bullish scenario was this one. It was to see a drop before reaching my resistance area, which was up there. And if we got this, so the drop before reaching my resistance, this was the most bullish scenario and greatly increased the chances of seeing a strong bounce to the upside. And if you go over to the charts, as you can see, we dropped before reaching my resistance, which was this area right there. So we dropped before reaching it, which was again the most bullish scenario, and that's why we got a very strong bounce to the upside. So before we dive into the second part of price action, I just want to quickly recap what I personally did. So if you remember last week, I had opened just one long position. It was this one, and this was on our first support level, 114.7. We got the job, we got the imbalances, I took my long, and we got a very nice bounce to the upside, implemented a take profit one. And then after we came back down and lost my support level, that's when I was waiting for $111,000. Okay, so I remained patient for the range lows to get taken out. I remained patient. We finally got the move. Volume was looking very good. If I open the charts, we had two early imbalances and a very nice wick. So volume was looking very good, but personally, my area got front shot. That was pretty unfortunate because this ended up being the low. You got a very strong bounce to the upside, and that was it. So personally, I missed the long position because once again, I was waiting for my area, but we got the very strong bounce to the upside. And this brings me on to this second part of price action. When we saw this bounce, even though this was the most bullish scenario, the fact that we didn't reach my support area got me quite bearish yesterday. And that's why in our live stream, so that was yesterday, what I wanted to see was for price to come back down, take out this low, and finally hit my support area. And the reason for that is because if you go over to the charts, if you take the initial low, the deviation below that low, at least that was my opinion, the deviation below that low simply wasn't big enough in my opinion. And that's why, once again, yesterday, I was pretty bearish, and what I wanted to see was for price to come back down and take out this low. And even though this plan didn't play out, I did share an aggressive short position, which played out very nicely. So it was this one, okay? It was this short position, and the logic behind it was that, as you can see, you had the value yellow right there, and you had this high, which was an imbalance. So to me, as long as price remained below this high, we shouldn't expect this scenario to play out and take this short position, but price was very likely to continue straight down and take out the lows. So that's why I shared this aggressive short position, and she right there, stop loss above this high, and take profit was at my support area below that low. And once again, this one played out extremely nicely if anyone took it. We remained below that high, we made our way down, took out the range low, and finally hit my support area. And one last thing before we dive into today's price action, even though we did see a very strong bounce after reaching my support area, personally, I did not want to trade until today. And back to the charts, that was the right decision because price simply made its way back down and is now sitting right in my support area. So with all of this out of the way, what can you expect next? I would say that everything has played out pretty nicely, even though price front ran my support area and you got a very strong bounce. I did not get emotional. I just recognized that this was a bad low. I wanted to see price come down, take it out. I shared an aggressive short position, which was once again this one. We got the job. This would be a take profit one if anyone took it. And now what can you expect next? Well, overall, it is pretty simple as usual. As you can see, I have this resistance up there. What's the logic behind it? We shared it yesterday in the live. We have a couple of 4-hour imbalances. And if you take the volume profile of the range, we have the point of control up there. So personally, this remains a pretty interesting area if we are able to make our way up. So maybe if we get something like this, get another bounce at my support area, reach this, and if you see a reaction, then this could offer a nice short position to take it all the way back down and break back below these lows. But will we actually bounce at my support area? Well, if I go on the 1 hour, we do have extremely nice volume. we have 3 early imbalances right there. So right now, personally, I haven't opened a long position yet, simply because it's a bit too early in the week, in my opinion. I mean, the weekly open is right there. We got a straight drop to the downside. It's Monday morning. I just want to wait a bit longer, at least to get close to New York open and see, do we maybe take out yesterday's low before seeing a bounce to the upside, or does price maintain here and you get that move up, in which case we can look for a bounce higher. If you want to be safer, in my opinion, you can wait for the reclaim of the daily open. And if you get this, okay, so maybe something like this, you reclaim the daily open, then in my opinion, you could maybe look for a long position, entry right there, stop loss will be somewhere down there, and this would be your first target, and this would still offer a trade of a 3-to-1 RRR. Now, if you want to be more aggressive, you can open a long position down there, because we do have very nice volume. This is still my support. However, once again, personally, I do want to remain patient, at least to get closer to New York's open. So this would be my main scenario today, okay? It would be to see a bounce here, up into my resistance, and then if we see a rejection, then this should offer a nice short position for a reversal to the downside and a break back below these lows. Now, on the other hand, if we don't bounce on this area, then my view does remain as outlined in my last update. I will simply wait. If we break below my area, I will wait for a reclaim of $111,000. And if we get this, then this is where I will open my long position. Below this area, personally, as I said before, I am not interested in any long positions. So that's why today this area is pretty important in my view. If we are able to get a bounce, this would be my first target, and then if you see reaction, we can take it back down, and of course if no reaction, then we can look for a move higher. On the other hand, if we lose my support area, I will not be interested in long positions, and I will wait to see if we can get a reclaim of my support. If we do, I will open a long position, and my target will remain this resistance area, which is around $118,000, by the way. So with all of that said, that was mainly it for this update. I kept it very simple as usual. I have just one area which is being retested right now. We do have very nice volume as we have 3 hourly imbalances. If you want to be more aggressive, you can open a long position now and wait to see if we see strengths, and this would be your first target. On the other hand, if you want to be safer, you could wait for the reclaim of the daily open, and if you get this, this is where you can look for long positions to target once again this resistance area. If you get a rejection, then I will target much lower. However, of course, if we break above it, then simply, very obviously, look for higher prices. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.